Okay, Luke, our FA Cup journey continues. We make the long trip up to Accrington tomorrow. Has there been a bit of FA Cup buzz around the camp this week?
Yeah, listen, we didn't have a game Saturday, so we trained quite heavy after the Notts County game. Had them in over the weekend, prepping Accrington. Trained again today, went through all the set plays, the patterns, the bits that we need to work on. But yeah, we eagerly anticipated a tough tie tomorrow evening like there was 10 days ago. We know how tough they are. We know that, having watched Bristol Rovers, the conditions up at their place were quite horrendous on Saturday, so we're expecting that. We got a little dress rehearsal over Friday and Saturday with the winds and the rain we had over them 2 days. So yeah, there is a buzz. There's always a buzz when the balls are out. There's always a buzz when you guys are out there with the cameras, and fingers crossed we can go and put a good account of ourselves tomorrow evening.
Yeah, you just mentioned you had the weekend off. Accrington obviously had a game. Do you think that's almost a benefit to you that you've had a whole week to prep this game?
Possibly. We were obviously working tirelessly in terms of how we feel that the game will pan out, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. They had a tough tie against Bristol Rovers, and yeah, it looked quite tough for them because they lost Presley, they lost Connolly. We don't know what the outstanding in terms of length of their injuries are. Longolo got injured in the latter stages of the game, so we're quite fortunate we've had no new injuries. That's something they'll be assessing, that's something we can't control, but we worked hard Friday, Saturday. We worked really hard in terms of, we watched the game back, the game we played against them here. Got long throws coming thick and fast, whether that's Lee, whether that's Farm, the boy, the 34 that come on for Connolly on Saturday. We need to be good at that because that's a threat for them. But yeah, look, for me, it's about what we can control and how we go about our business. There will be a little bit more freshness in our legs because we haven't gone and played a 90, but for me, it's a 90-minute game of football, 11 lads against 11 lads, and we need to ensure that we're right on it like we were here, like I said, 10 days ago.
Yeah, you've mentioned the conditions there. It's looked to be a cold one. Does that almost give it the feel of an underdog cup tie in a way?
Well, it threw it down here, windy as, and I think they play into the cup tradition in terms of, like you said, when there's an underdog playing a team two leagues above. I watched the game against Bristol Rovers and the wind was hurling, the rain was coming in, their corner flags were blowing all over the place, and these are conditions that we got to manage. I felt that in the first half against Accrington they were a little bit more front foot, and in the second half we utilised the conditions, and like I said, Friday and Saturday it was tough. None of our mannequins stood up on the training ground because they were getting blown everywhere, and the boys had to really focus on their delivery, and that's something that we need to do tomorrow evening. So for me, the conditions are going to be out there for both sides. Obviously they know their pitch a little bit better, they'll know the winds as such when it dies, when it comes on top, but for me it's about going out there and applying ourselves in the best possible way and sticking and implementing the game plan. I felt that we've had a real good start to the 2023 year, and we need to ensure that continues tomorrow evening.
Yeah, obviously the FA Cup expectation is something that comes with being Boreham Wood now. Do you feel like, how do you manage with the players, the expectation of going on and doing what you did last year?
Embrace it, because the boys want to go on a journey. I said to them when we faced Willstone here in the fourth qualifying round, I said, I'm selfish. I want what we had last year, and I want to ensure that we beat Willstone. Exactly the same message against Eastleigh. Slightly different message against Bristol Rovers because in terms of the exact same message as Accrington, they're a team 2 leagues above. We need to ensure that we are all pulling in the same direction. There's 11 lads that are giving 100%. I felt that that was the case against Bristol Rovers and again against Accrington last Saturday, and I'm going to ask them to go and work as hard as they did in the 3 games we faced already this year, being Barnet, Accrington and Notts County, and if we do that, we'll give ourselves an opportunity of progressing. We know who we got potentially, being us and Accrington have either got Cardiff and Leeds. That's a lovely carrot for both sides. I know John Coleman will be relishing the opportunity of facing either side, and we need to go there fully focused. We need to go there with the hunger and desire that we've shown in the last 3 years in our cup runs, and to go and have the mentality of an underdog to go and deliver on another game plan to ensure that we are in the fourth round.
Yeah, and just finally on the injury front, are you expecting to see any players return? And also just how is the squad feeling?
Yeah, looking hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got one minimum. We're waiting last stages of today and tomorrow, because we don't need to rush on that. Obviously, it being a replay, you have to go with a squad you had in the previous game, so no matter what happened, we couldn't bring in any additional bodies. But the team, like I said, the team are in a good place. We had a real good staff meeting, player meeting on Friday to discuss how we've seen the last 2-3 weeks. As much as we haven't got a win on the board, the performances have warranted that. And for me, we need to ensure that the confidence and the positivity remains. They're a good side. You don't go to Lincoln in the cup and beat them. I know it was on penalties, it still goes down as a win. And to go and play Bristol Rovers with the personnel they have in their ranks, to go and beat them 2-0 is no mean feat. So we're not foolish, we know how tough they are, we know they have injuries, they have issues, they've had issues. I spoke to their assistant manager or coach prior to the game and he reeled off 8 to 10 lads that would normally be playing for them. So they've gone through a bit of a tough time, they've got a squad. You look at the team that finished the game against Bristol Rovers, that's a team that's competitive in League One. So we need to be right on it. By hook or by crook, we need to be right on it, and that's exactly what I'll be telling the group on tomorrow evening, to go and put in a performance to warrant the home draw, whether that's Cardiff or Leeds.